3 months ago, I brutally lost a jiu-jitsu match in front of all my family and friends. This was to a beautiful blonde-haired man named Jack. Back in November, he beat me 6-2, finishing right on my back.
What?
What makes him deadly is his unexpected and unpredictable game. I feel like I played so poorly in our last match, apprehensive to engage into my guard out of fear of the leg lock game. We've both grown a ton since then, so let's see who can come out on top this time. So while there's no winning or losing training, mentally there's a lot on the line in this role. Neither of us want to walk away feeling like we didn't put our best foot forward, knowing that the next time we meet in a competitive scene, it could easily be a reflection of what happens today. As Jack and I engage into the first altercation, we end up in a very familiar position. I insert into my favorite passing position, headquarters. However, there's a threat that Jack is using right now, and if it were the first time rolling with him, I for sure would have fell for it. He has an overhand grip on my lat and a butterfly hook on my leg, and you'll see what he does with it in a second. I try to hip switch to remove the hook, and I'm able to escape it. However, he manages to reinsert it, and then it happens. Throughout our first match in Toro, he utilized this technique many times. As soon as I think I'm safe and in side control, he manages to get this butterfly hook in and absolutely send me off of him. I manage to maintain my balance just a little bit, but as I go to hip switch again, he finally rolls me over and comes up on top. However, I don't want to concede to bottom just yet. I go to attack a single leg, but I see an opportunity to lock up a body lock and I take it. However, due to my weak S grip, he simply raises his hips and it breaks my grip. So as we re-engage, I want to pocket my foot inside of his knee pit. This will allow me to control his lower body better and defend against those disgusting leg locks. He wants to maintain a butterfly guard with both feet inside, giving him more options to sweep or attack. But now, here's where shit starts to get real. Jack will distract me with a collar tie and attempt to ankle pick. I lunge forward and hop on his back. He then tripods to try to throw me off. However, my hooks were already tightly latched on, allowing me to maintain his back. I shoot in an RNC, and he starts defending. Fortunately, because he had his hands posted on the floor, the choke was already deep. It was only a matter of time before I got a tap. As we start again, I decide to play guard. I need to make sure to either control his wrists or keep my elbows in between my knees. By doing this, it should negate his ability to body lock pass and ultimately protect my guard. I'm going to control his left wrist and then allow him to start closing the distance. However, if you noticed, I took both my feet from inside to the outside. Now Jack is in a really bad position. I've broken his posture with the collar grip and he's between both of my legs, enabling a lot of submission attacks. Because I have this wrist grip though, I'm really looking for the triangle. To avoid it, Jack is oh, that does not look good. But anyway, he's gonna stack me, and as I go to shoot it, he pulls out just in the nick of time. So last time I was here, I hesitated out of nervousness and didn't properly engage my De La Riva hook. That mistake almost costed me my knee. However, I've been practicing it since then, and this time when I actually used that De La Riva, I was able to enter into a leg lock position of my own. Jack would defend by barrel rolling, but we'd run into another group, so we'd have to reset. We'd start back in saddle, and Jack would pommel his right leg to the inside to avoid the leg entanglement, allowing him to come up on top. I'm sure he was aware of the false reap, so he actually knee sliced away to disengage. Jack would begin to attack by cutting an angle. I create a connection to stop him from just walking around my guard and enter into De La Riva to start giving me some attacking options. I try to throw my left leg behind his to start attacking his back, but I didn't maintain a connection to him as I made the transition to a tight waist, and it almost cost me everything. Luckily, I was able to frame and I realign our center lines to prevent him from passing my guard. But after that, I'm sick of being on bottom. I remove the collar tie with a loose grip to not raise suspicion, then explode into an arm drag. I come up and start to chain Toreandos, but Jack draws me into his butterfly guard. We're back in the same position from earlier, and I want to sprawl out on his hook to prevent the sweep. He moves into turtle, and right here I wholeheartedly believed that I was going to take his back once again. That was until he shot back down under my hips and sent me flying above him. Now we find ourselves in a very dangerous game. Jack is close to locking up in his saddle and drags my leg deep into the abyss. I know that if I don't act fast, it's game over from here. My first objective was to disrupt the lock he had around my leg by repummeling my foot back to the inside. This will give him less control and less ability to finish. I then keep my heel pointed towards his ribs and turn my back to Jack to prevent the heel hook. I managed to escape certain tapping death. As I try to come up though, I'm met with an ankle pick that sits me right back down. I notice his posture is low, so I attack a guillotine and make him react. Then as he postures, I swiftly spin under him and attack a heel hook of my own. Unfortunately, Jack is able to free his knee line, removing one of the key pieces I need to finish the heel hook. He'll then backstep and berimbolo to work his way on a mount. Jack has a deep tight waist and he's keeping his knees pinched, making it vigorously hard to escape this position. I even try to stuff his leg back in a half guard, but by using the gift wrap he has on my right hand, he's able to keep my back flat to the mat and moves into S mount. I managed to off balance him enough to reclaim the inside position of my chest with my elbows, preventing many submissions he can do from S mount. I then feel him start to lace up another berimbolo with his legs and prepare to defend. As he rolls, I try to keep my back flat to the mat and push him away. But as I do that, I feel him start to crank on a calf slicer, so I try to counter with a toe hold. He bails on the calf slicer and then looks for a nasty submission. If Jack manages to wrap his left arm around my head, I'd be forced to tap due to the pressure on my spine. I'm able to prevent the twister submission and he begins to move into side control. Using the space that is created in the transition, I turtle and Jack locks onto yet another submission, the darce. I block his hips to relieve the pressure and move my head towards the center line to escape the front headlock. I follow up the escape with an attack of my own by 2-on-1ing his arm and diving under his hips to single X. I'll off balance him, causing a sweep, he'll sweep me back, and this is where the round ends. Alright guys, so after a very long 6-minute round, I think I can safely say Jack and I definitely gave each other a great performance.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
My goal today was to submit him. I thought it would give me a sense of satisfaction walking away with the sub over him during the roll. However, even though I submitted him, I feel like he dominated positionally. I guess we'll just have to go again and see. Thank you to everyone who stayed to the end. Make sure to comment down below any mistakes that I made in the most aggressive and shameful way possible. Much love to everyone, and I will see you all next weekend.